Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on what is today? Friday, Friday, January the 2nd of 2026. In some ways, this is the first business day of the year, but I think most people are still probably off or maybe taking a long weekend and probably will be going back to work. When I was going to an office, usually I took this day off and kind of made it back on the first Monday, which of course this time around it's going to be the fifth. But a lot of stuff's going on around the world, and so let me wish all of you a happy New Year. And again, as I said before, thank you for your support, thank you for your clicks in 2025, and hopefully we can do even better performance, better shows, better commentaries. It's going to be an interesting year, so we'll have a lot to talk about to say the least. But I want to begin with the new mayor in New York City, who yesterday was inaugurated, and he didn't disappoint anybody. I mean, this guy doubled down on his socialist policies, and he's not only going to govern like a Democrat socialist, he is one. In fact, he's doubling down on every one of the things he was saying. And you have to really look at all of those people who are applauding and enjoying the day and feeling like they won this big victory. You've got to be looking at those people and asking yourself, what exactly are those people thinking? What planet are these people living in? Where has socialism, of whether Democrat socialism or whatever you want to call it, where has it been tried and succeeded? I don't know of too many places that it has. In fact, in most countries, it fails. And it fails because it's a completely unnatural thing to, capitalism is completely natural. People are competitive, they want to get ahead. So he spoke yesterday about the beauty of collectivism. Collectivism is exactly why millions of people have died under communist rule, because they want everybody to look the same, to be the same. So I was really amazed at how much he doubled down on his ideas during that speech. I was expecting him, now that he's the mayor and has a big city. Look, at least half of the city voted against him. I mean, there wasn't a heavy turnout, but at least half of the city voted against him. You would have thought, well, I'm going to try to, work with everybody to be the mayor of New York City, as they say. No, that was not the case at all. That was not the case at all. He doubled down. And one of the most outrageous things that he said is when he started going after the rich and that the rich have to pay their fair share. At the moment, and this came out in an editorial today by the New York Post, so you can check it out. At the moment, 1% of the taxpayers in New York City are picking up like 64% of New York City's budget, public budget, that is. So you have to sit there and say to yourself, wait a minute, what do you mean they're not paying their fair share? What are they supposed to pay? All of it? I mean, 1% is picking up 64% of the city budget. What are the other 99% doing? Well, there's a lot of people in New York City who are living for, as they say, they're having lunch for free, as they say. They have a free lunch. And, you have to wonder how many more of those 1% who are picking up the tab, how many more of those are just going to pack up and get out? I think a lot of them will. They're already doing it. I mean, New York City has been losing people for some time, and this is just going to accelerate the loss of people. So I thought it was a shocking speech by the new mayor of New York City. I was expecting him to be a little bit more, more, let's say, more congenial, more open to representing everybody. No, he's doubling down. And there are some very hard times ahead for New York City. That's all I can tell you. Some very bad times ahead for New York City. Just a quick point here. We've been hearing a lot about Iran. Things in Iran are really, something is going on in Iran. Mass demonstrations. We kind of went through this back in 2009, if you remember. That was in the first year of the Obama presidency. And they had people in the streets and people were challenging the authorities. And then the authorities came back and really hit the people very hard and basically put down what was in essence a rebellion against the authorities. And Obama didn't do anything. And that was a horrible signal that we sent to Iran. Well, President Trump is not going to do that. Now, I'm not suggesting he's going to send in the Marines or anything like that. That's not the situation. But he's going to, Iran's going to pay a price. And there may be a military card. I don't know. We may take out all of their oil refineries, for example, or take out their Navy or something. I mean, there could be a military option here. But I am glad that President Trump has taken the position that, hey, don't hurt people, don't attack people, don't kill people, because we will act if you do. And believe me, when Trump says that, they believe him. They believe him. So we'll see what happens. But that whole country is just exploding. And it's amazing. Somebody was saying this today, that if Venezuela and Iran were to collapse, very close to each other, and that could happen, they're saying that the price of oil would drop incredibly. The barrel of oil would drop incredibly because of those two countries collapsing, and that there would be a real boom for the West because the price of gasoline would be very, very cheap. I was reading this from an oil expert today. So I don't know. Maduro is also talking about talking. He wants to sit down with President Trump. Well, I hope President Trump tells him what I believe Secretary Rubio has already told him, and that is, look, you're not the president of Venezuela. You stole the election. There is a president who won the election, Mr. Gonzalez. Put him in, and we'll be happy to show you how to get out of your country and maybe even protect you while you get out of your country. So anyway, a lot of things happening. Whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Iran. And speaking of gasoline prices, I just put gasoline in my car today here in the North Texas area. $2.29 or $2.25, one of those two. I haven't paid a price like that for a long time. You have to go back, I think, to 2020 when the price was around $2, just slightly over. So that's great news. That is great news for inflation. And I'm sure we'll be getting some inflation figures and some economic figures here in the next few weeks. But man, when you have those drops in gasoline prices, that is absolutely wonderful for the American consumer and for the American economy. So that is really, really good news. Well, we're going to remember a couple of things on this day in history. First of all, in 1788, the state of Georgia joined the Union. Georgia, I guess the Union was put together in 1787, so they were not one of the original 13, I don't believe. Maybe they were. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they were. But they joined the Union today in 1788, so that's a little historical note there for you. And we're also going to remember today one of the truly amazing political personalities of the 20th century, and that's Barry Goldwater, Senator Barry Goldwater of Arizona, who pretty much lived the entire century. He was born in 1909 and he passed away in 1999. So he pretty much lived the entire century. And this is a man, of course, who ran for president in 1964. He was massively defeated by Lyndon Johnson in 1964. That was one of the biggest landslides ever, one of the biggest defeats ever in American politics. And yet, by losing, he set in motion the conservative movement that gave us Reagan and some of the others later. So even though he lost, and most of the time, if you lose by a landslide like that, you kind of disappear. Nobody really takes you that seriously after. But not him. Goldwater, in a sense, gained a lot of support, and he created a lot of people who followed on his ideas, Ronald Reagan being one of them. So we remember today Barry Goldwater, one of the real political giants of the 20th century, senator from Arizona, but somebody who had tremendous influence in our politics. And it's just hard to believe, how consequential he was, even though he got defeated very badly in the 1964 election. So Barry Goldwater, born on this day in 1909 in Arizona, and passed away in 1999. One of my real heroes. And if you ever get a chance, there's a great biography of Goldwater. I remember reading it. And just an amazing life, Barry Goldwater. I think one of his sons was a member of Congress later, but I don't know if that's still the case. I don't think so. But anyway, Barry Goldwater, great American, was born on this day in 1909, passed away in 1999. Thank you for listening. Happy New Year to everybody. We've got a lot of stuff that is going to happen in January. Trust me, this is going to be a pretty big month. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody.